I had to check out the movie Michael. And I enjoy it because I love the musician. However, the film does have its flaws. Hello there, namaste. So the movie Michael came out, and I gotta say, I was excited because I understood that this film was gonna be a two-part film. So in my head, I was like, okay, so the first part is gonna be about the Jackson Five, and then we're gonna find out about the artist Michael Jackson after the fact. However, as much as I enjoy seeing the family dynamic, and everyone knows that type of father he had, everyone knows that type. It's the same kind of mindset those like pageant moms have, basically forcing their daughters to do something to make themselves feel great about, well, themselves. So that's the type of father he has. He has a very manipulative, very I live my life vicariously through my children, thinking that his mentality is the most important for the dynamic of the family instead of understanding that each of his kids are unique individual and basically solos out the one who really does stand out and makes him feel lesser than just because, well, he stands out. But in this one, it's primarily to show the fact that Michael didn't have a typical childhood. He never had friends growing up. He had a better connection with animals than he did with people because people his own age he just couldn't talk to. He spent more time talking to kids in hospitals when he would go around talking to like cancer patients, talking to burn patients. And there you really saw like his heart. He really cared for other people, but he was always brought down. And I gotta say, I really love the introduction of this. The fact that they're showing like his skin changing, and some people have that kind of patchiness, and he was wearing the glove to hide his discoloration. His fascination with like Neverland and children's books because he lost himself in them because, well, he never had a childhood to begin with. So what did he do? He enjoyed children's books. He enjoyed children's shows. He enjoyed children's kind of things because, well, he wanted to be a kid, and you can't blame him for that. However, what I gotta say, where this thing felt off, it really did force situations that really didn't feel like they should be there. So, biggest problem, which is funny because this is basically a movie on a musician, the concert scenes at the very end felt forced. They really felt forced because there's the one scene as soon as he ends up in the hospital. And if you've watched the film, you know the movie's over. You can get up and walk out, and nothing will be different for you. Nothing will be different for you. The thing is, after that, they have music sequence and then music sequence and then music sequence, which really adds like an extra 15 minutes to the film, which didn't need to be 15 minutes longer. It just kept dragging it on and on and on. It's like, I do like these songs, but the movie finished 10 minutes ago. Why does it continue? And that's the thing. It's just like, it felt forced, like they just wanted to pad out the runtime. And there were probably other stories they could have told in that dynamic in that time frame because this film jumps around so much. Like it'll jump a span of years, a span of years, a span of years over and over and over again. And that kind of gets annoying, but at the same time, they're trying to show the Jackson Five's lifespan as they get to where they're going, and trying to introduce Michael as he's trying to achieve his objective of going solo. And I do gotta say, like, since they added those last 15 minutes, it got me wondering. I wanted to learn about the Jackson Five. Learning about Michael Jackson, you have to learn about his brothers. You have to learn about his father. You have to learn about his mother. You have to learn about his sister. We don't get much of that. They could have spent that extra 15 minutes actually focusing on them. How were they as a family? What were they outside of them being forced to rehearse? Why did Michael end up becoming completely different than the rest of them? Of course, he achieved stardom, which the rest really didn't. But that's the thing. It's just like, how did it get to that point? They could have spent those 15 minutes actually getting the dynamic between the family more solidified, because all we get is a father who believes he's the head of the household and believes himself right and everyone else is wrong. We have a submissive mother who loves her son Michael and will always have his back but never speaks out for him. And then we have Michael, who apparently has a sister and apparently has four other brothers, but we really don't see much of them. Every now and then you'll have a scene with him talking to his sister, and every now and then he'll have a scene where he's just talking to his group of brothers who are all hanging out. But that's the thing. It's just like, how did it get to that point? And I would have liked to have seen that. Because for me, if I was to do a story about my life, there would be a lot about why me and my brothers are kind of like in different pockets in our lives. But of course, people drift apart. But I would have liked to have seen that, especially having four brothers myself. I think it would have been nice to see more of that family dynamic. I really would have preferred it. However, I did enjoy this film because Michael Jackson, I think, is one of the greatest artists of all time. No one will ever be able to match up with him. But at the same time, all artists are unique individuals, so you get to pick what you enjoy. Thank you all for watching. I recommend watching this movie. You probably won't enjoy it, but at the same time, it's worth watching for just Michael Jackson. For just Michael Jackson. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Doodles.
You guys got a video? So bad.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait, wait,